I thank you for your support for Pakistan, and I assure you that we should not be wanting in friendly spirit with our neighbors and with all the nations of the world.
(1857). The first recorded resistance to British rule came in the shape of Sepoy Mutiny, that later came to be known as Indian War of Independence. Mangal Pandey became a symbol of resistance when he shot and injured a British officer, while about 85 Hindu and Muslim soldiers later refused to use rifle cartridges oiled with cow and pig fat. Leading to arrests, court-martials, a jailbreak, and rebellion in Delhi and Lucknow, the British finally reclaimed Delhi in September 1857. 7 years later, Queen Victoria of England was proclaimed the Empress of India. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan founded the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, the first Muslim university in South Asia. The Indian National Congress, also known as Congress Party, was formed in 1885 by Hume, Dababhai Naroji and Sir Dinshaw Vacha with the aim of bringing political and economic reforms in India. It was in no way against the British Raj at its onset, but became the driving force behind the independence movement. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, an established barrister by then, took his first steps into the political arena by joining the Indian National Congress. He was a moderate and a staunch believer in Hindu-Muslim unity. Viceroy Lord Curzon ordered partition of Bengal on administrative grounds, giving Muslims a majority state of East Bengal. This outraged Hindus and led to Swadeshi movement, boycott against the British by Hindus. The Hindus accused the British of implementing a divide-and-rule policy. The partition sparked a major political crisis along religious lines, with Hindus at the forefront of the agitation. This year, a major development unfolded that would change the fortunes of the Muslims of Subcontinent. The All India Muslim League was founded at Dhaka at a Mohammedan educational conference with the support and guidance from Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The partition of Bengal and the subsequent protests by Hindus can be termed a key reason for the birth of Muslim League. Sir Sultan Muhammad Shah Agha Khan III was appointed the first honorary president. Minto Morley Reforms or Indian Council Act 1909 was introduced, aimed bringing about a limited increase in the involvement of Indians in the governance of British India. The partition of Bengal was annulled, leading to protests by Muslims. Muhammad Ali Jinnah joined the All India Muslim League, but continued to be a member of the Congress. He was known as a true ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity at that time. World War I broke out following the assassination of Austrian leader in Bosnia. About 10 million military deaths occurred, and civilian toll was even bigger. The Greater Wear also led to mass famine, disease and homelessness. More than 74,000 Indian troops died in the battle as the Indian Army fought against the German Empire in the German East Africa and on the Western Front. The Defence of Indian Act 1915 was passed that limited the civil and political liberties in response to several failed mutinies and plots that planned to overthrow the British government. The legendary Lucknow Pact was a rare joint political move by the Congress and Muslim League that agreed to allow over-representation of religious minorities in the provincial legislatures. The Muslim League leaders agreed to join the Congress to demand Indian autonomy. Jinnah was the architect of the pact and made both parties realize the importance of jointly pressurizing British to give Indians more authority to run their country and safeguarding basic Muslim demands. Ever since the end of World War I, Indians had begun protesting and demanding freedom from British rule. Tensions continued to rise following a call by Gandhi for protests. But the worst was yet to come. Colonel Dyer had banned all meetings in Amritsar, so a gathering of about 5,000 Sikhs of Baisakhi at Jallianwala Bagh was an obvious alarm. Dyer ordered Sikh and Gurkhandar, his command, to open discriminate fire on the crowd. The killing gave new life to the independence movement. Khilafat movement was launched by Muslims of India to pressure the British government not to abolish the Ottoman Caliphate. The movement gained support from Congress and its leader Gandhi by 1920. In return, Muslims gave all-out support to Gandhi's non-cooperation movement against the British. Both failed eventually, as the Khilafat in Turkey was abolished by Mustafa Ataturk in 1922. While the non-violence nature of non-cooperation movement ceased to be, so the incidents such as the killing of 22 policemen in the Chora Chori incident turned violent by 1922. Jinnah resigned from the Indian National Congress and moved to England. Gandhi arrested and imprisoned for 6 years for publishing seditious material. Nehru Report was issued. The report was a memorandum outlining a proposed new dominion status constitution for India. It was rejected by Muslims who thought it was against the interests of Muslims, who could not surrender their rights to separate electorates.
I am very happy that I am at this function, and already I've had the opportunity of meeting some friends, and I might yet find more friends, but you give me no time to do anything else.
In response to Nehru Report, Jinnah proposed his 14 points, a constitutional reform planned to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in a self-governing India. The points covered all the interests of the Muslims and laid the foundation of Jinnah's partition from Congress for good. Allama Muhammad Iqbal delivers historic address to Allahabad during the 25th annual session of All India Muslim League. Iqbal outlined a vision of an independent state for Muslim-majority provinces, saying, "I would like to see Punjab, North-West Frontier Province, Sindh and Balochistan amalgamated into a single state, self-government within the British Empire or without the British Empire." His speech laid the foundation for the concept that would go to be known as the two-nation theory. Pakistan. An acronym was created by Rahmat Ali, an Indian Muslim student of Punjab, studying at Cambridge. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was elected by the Muslims of Bombay to the Indian Legislative Assembly. The Roundtable Conferences from 1930 to 32 led to key deliberations and proposals that culminated in passage of the Government of India Act 1935. It offered a provision for the Federation of India to be both British and princely states. It separated Burma from Indian beginning in 1937. Sindh was separated from Bombay, and limited powers were given to elected Indian representatives and provincial governors. Allama Muhammad Iqbal, the spiritual father of Pakistan, passed away this year at age 60. In his last year, he wrote, "There is only one way out. Muslims should strengthen Jinnah's hands. They should join the Muslim League." Jinnah became more vocal about a separate homeland for Muslims and called for a separate Muslim state partitioned from India. In 1940, he founded the newspaper English daily Dawn. Congress leader Gandhi launched the Quit-India movement, demanding an end to British rule through an orderly British withdrawal. Mass protests followed, and British immediately put almost entire leadership of the Indian National Congress behind bars, mostly until 1945. 2-week-long talks between Gandhi and Jinnah failed to reach a consensus over the future of India. Jinnah wanted Pakistan being formed prior to British departure, while Gandhi wanted plebiscites on Hindu-Muslim partition after a united India gained its independence. In 1946, Cabinet Mission Plan was offered to discuss the transfer of power from the British government to the Indian leadership and possibly preserving India's unity while granting its independence. Britain proposed a transfer of independence to India, along with the partition of a Muslim-majority India, later called Pakistan. Due to various differences, the Muslim League did not support the original plan. Yet, elections for the assembly were held and a constitution drafted. August 1946. Of the 296 seats of the British Indian provinces, 208 were won by members of the Indian Congress and 73 by the Muslim League. The Muslim League refused to work with Hindu Congress. Direct Action Day or Calcutta Riots or the Great Calcutta Killing, 4 days of Hindu-Muslim riots in Bengal resulted in as many as 10,000 deaths. Direct action was announced by the Muslim League Council to show the strength of Muslim feelings both to British and Congress. However, the action resulted in the worst ever communal riots in British India. Mountbatten appointed Viceroy of India on March 24, 1947. On June 3rd, the Indian Independence Act 1947 or the Mountbatten Plan was released that agreed to the partition of India into the two new independent dominions of India and Pakistan.
On 14th August 1947, the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, formally transferred power to the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan. Replying to the address of the Viceroy on the occasion, the Quaid-e-Azam said,
Your Excellency, I thank His Majesty the King on behalf of the Pakistan Constituent Assembly and myself for his precious message. I know great responsibilities lie ahead, and I naturally reciprocate these sentiments, and we greatly appreciate his assurance of sympathy and support. And I hope that you will please communicate to His Majesty our assurance of goodwill and friendship of the British nation and him as the crown head of the British government.
I thank Your Excellency for your expressions of goodwill and good wishes for the future of Pakistan. It will be our constant effort to work for the welfare and well-being of all the communities in Pakistan. And I hope that everyone will be inspired by the idea of public service, and they will be imbued with the spirit of cooperation, and will show their political and civic virtue which go to make a great nation. I once more thank you and Lady Mountbatten for your kindness and good wishes. Yes, we are parting as friends, and I sincerely hope that we shall remain friends. I wish to say that we appreciate the spirit in which those in the government service at present and in the armed forces and others have so willingly and grudgingly volunteered themselves provisionally to serve Pakistan. As servants of Pakistan, we shall make them happy. They will be treated equally with our nationality. The tolerance and goodwill great Emperor Akbar showed to all non-Muslims is not of recent origin. It dates back 13 centuries ago, when our Prophet, not only by word, but by deed, treated the Jews and Christians handsomely, regard and respect for their faith and belief.